As the title card vanishes, Mother of George cuts to a celebration of life and the marriage of its protagonist Edinike to her new husband Ayodele. The sequence is filled with brightly lit shots and a warm color palette that demonstrate Edinike's comfort and hopeful happiness within her Nigerian community.
Adéníkẹ́, ìwọ àtọkọ ẹ, ìbànújẹ́ kan báyìí kò ní kàn yín. Wàá bọ́kùnrin fún mi, wàá bóbìnrin fún mi, wàá bí ìbejì, wàá dúró lórí ìbejì. Ìwọ àtọkọ ẹ, ẹ wà ní mọ̀ọ́yà. Ẹ máa jókòó tì báyìí, ẹ máa jókòó, ẹ ó fẹ̀yìn tì báyìí, ẹ jẹun ọmọ.
But all this is an anomaly. For the rest of the film explores Edinike's difficulty to get pregnant and satisfy her mother's traditional expectations of family. Mother of George sees Edinike navigating New York as she attempts to find her sense of belonging and cultural identity in the Western world. Stuart Hall, in his essay on cultural identity and diaspora, writes about one approach to understanding cultural identity. It is not just a matter of being, but also becoming. It is not something that is pre-established, but rather undergoes constant transformation. This is how the film's director, Andrew Dosunmu, approaches Edinike's identity, as a concept ever evolving as she navigates between two communities, two worlds. We see these two worlds at a sharp contrast with each other. While her marriage celebration is filled with bright and warm colors, it is soon juxtaposed with the dark, unforgiving coldness of Brooklyn to show Edinike's discomfort in New York. Dosunmu creates this environment where Edinike is perceived as an other in the eyes of the audience. The bright colors she wears stand out among a sea of blue. Surrounding her are her friends and her husband, fully integrated into typical Western attire.
You know how men are back home. He is not home.
But her wardrobe is only the tip of the iceberg. As the film continues, she becomes further ostracized from her own Nigerian community as well, due to her possible infertility. John Mbiti's African Religions and Philosophy addresses the significance of procreation within African society. The reason for these societal pressures thrust upon Edinike is due to the consequences of failure. To die without getting married and without children is to be completely cut off from human society, to become disconnected, to become an outcast, and to lose all links with mankind. This is nowhere more apparent than in the Nigerian place of worship, where Edinike visits Ayodele's mother. After fertility beads and remedies by an African doctor prove unsuccessful, his mother suggests an alternative.
You want to help Ayodele? You know what to do. It's the same blood.
We see again Edinike's increasing discomfort, now within her own Nigerian community, from this cold and dark color palette that has enveloped her place of comfort. It shows her disconnection, foreshadowing her new status of outcast in her own community. Edinike's crisis continues when she gets pregnant from Ayodele's brother Biyi and tells him the truth. Furious, Ayodele storms off, abandoning Edinike at her lowest, most vulnerable point. In the end, she is seen grasping for one last chance of forgiveness. She is submerged in the cold colors and the literal darkness of New York, with nowhere to go because of her adherence to tradition. What comes next is clarity. This contrast shows her revelation, her assertion that she wants to be with Ayodele, she wants to have a life with him in New York. It is Dosunmu's way of visually representing Edinike's resolution to her identity crisis and role within this unfamiliar place by bathing Ayodele in light. The final sequence gives hope of fulfilling this resolution as Ayodele walks into the hospital to see his child. The warm yellow walls surrounding Edinike in the hospital as she goes into labor plant the seeds of her assimilation into Western culture, a transformation of her new cultural identity, in the beginning of her journey away from the cold, dark colors of unfamiliarity that she leaves behind.